Hello and welcome to bonus episode 35 of the Book Wars pod.
We're back.
Kate's already speechless.
I was already speechless when Keeks dropped the intro music and you were like in another fucking dimension, just doing whatever that is. We're
centering myself.
he's just
Easy bouncy.
just so people know, because audio medium, he is rocking back and forth with his eyes closed and just like you're just like vibing. I don't know.
I'm just getting ready, just prepping.
Oh my fucking god.
He's all vibes now.
Jesus Christ. I would hate to see like what your list of like random shit would be if you ever had a green room.
Oh god, it would be.
Give me some Star Wars Legos.
This is great intro content. I mean, it would be
mac and cheese.
Yeah, like for sure, mac and cheese from a local place. No question about that. What else? Probably some nerds, like a box of nerds.
True.
My teeth would be so bad.
So much candy.
That's
I was
great.
listening to a podcast about Law and Order SVU today, and one of the guests that they had on were talking about how like random guest stars will like poke their heads out of their dressing rooms because they hear like machine gun video game gunfire, and don't worry, it's just Ice-T. He's just playing video games in his dressing room. Like
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Chris would have some video games in his dressing room. That's
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think
for sure.
Yeah, it was actually really
Auntie
funny because like I can't do it, but the person who was on the podcast, whose name I can't remember, like did a perfect like that machine gun video game noise, like did it perfectly, and I was like, oh my god, that was like such a good. How did you do that? I know exactly what that's exactly the noise. It's like not like real machine gun fire. It's like video game machine gun fire.
That's very
wild.
A pretzel from Auntie Anne's is also something I would demand. I don't do appearances in any city that doesn't have an Auntie Anne's.
It's Old Bay chips.
I didn't actually ask you what you would have. I was just speculating, and then you just decided to roll with it because
He's a man.
I hate you.
They're called crab chips, Kristen.
They are called crab chips. Miranda's producing this podcast because we're talking about clones, or did you just say bonus episode 35?
No, I said bonus episode 35.
We're talking
Like,
about clones.
I don't actually listen to you when you talk, as you know.
Listen, I might have been napping during the intro, but at least I'm paying attention.
Okay, wow. All
Whatever.
right.
We're talking about clones.
We're talking about clones. We're talking about season 1 of The Bad Batch today.
Yay! Thanks for producing, Miranda, so I can do this thing.
Oh, you got it. That'll be great.
She's
What is a
thrilled to
clone
be here
episode?
as always.
What is a clone episode without Kiki just like, just screaming in absolute emotional distress?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Famously.
I didn't think that there could be more, and somehow they decided to make Bad Batch into a show, and I was like, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to make you do it, but you're going to
Yeah,
do
I was
it.
going to say, what is everyone drinking?
I'm drinking ginger peach sparkling water from Good and Gather. I don't know. I think Quinn went to Target, and that's why we have this. This is special water from Target. I was like, I've never seen this brand, and I don't know this flavor, but I have 2 of them, and they're delicious.
There you go.
What are you drinking, Kate? In your Green Day shirt. Very nice.
All over my desk. This shirt is so fucking old, yo.
Yeah.
I have an Avery IPA, which I realize is out of character, but that is what people left in my fridge.
Yay. So that's in character.
This is true.
Yeah. So that's what I'm drinking. I just love the little Flatiron hop. They have shirts like this, and I need to get one. It's just fucking adorable.
Yeah, get one before you move.
You're acting like we're moving to fucking like I don't even know.
If you don't hurry, we might have to drive 40 minutes for you to get a shirt in the future.
Chris, shut the fuck up. Tell the people what you're drinking. Or do you have anything?
No, I'm just drinking tea.
Oh, okay. Well.
What kind of tea? Is it something good?
It's to help
it's-
him when he vibes.
It's oolong tea.
Ooh.
Just a little bit of a caffeine kick since we're going to probably try and stay up and watch Kenobi.
Love that you guys do that shit.
It's not like I have work tomorrow or anything.
Well, so it goes. You are so lucky nobody from your job listens to this fucking podcast.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't told anybody from my job about this one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
After I told a couple jobs ago, and like somebody was like, I listened.
Why?
And I stopped telling people. He was also the person who's like, your wife's really mean to you.
That is none of his business.
Remind me after we record who this is so I can find them and beat their ass. Anyway.
Plot twist.
I
His
don't like
wife's
you
mean
either.
to everyone.
Kate is mean to everyone. That is true.
Including myself. That's
It's
why I
true.
have depression.
Wait,
Heyo.
Kate, does the can say something? Does it tell you about it?
It sure does. Brewed with Rocky Mountain water, malted barley hops, Columbus Cascade, Chinook Centennial, Idaho 7, Simcoe, and yeast.
Nice. Those are good hops. That's a great
It's a lot.
selection.
But is it as cold as the Rockies?
Shut
You
up.
can't
the
tell
mountains
there's no
blue.
mountains on it.
There's flat irons on it.
That's
Excuse
true.
you.
It's true.
They didn't, you know.
Where was I? I had a Coors Light recently.
I don't
We
know.
were-
Was it at Kristen's house?
Shut the fuck up.
No, we were having drunk Mario Kart night.
Oh, that's right. That's
Oh,
right. That's right.
nice.
That's right.
Listen,
Anyway.
it's a fine beer to keep in your fridge.
Oh, it is.
It's whatever.
Listen, on the scale of cheap beers, it's probably that and Miller Lite are the two best ones.
I mean, it's because they're inoffensive. They're just wheat water.
That's fucking Natty Bow blasphemy.
Okay, well, that's not widely available.
That's fair.
Yep. Chris, what's our cause for this book?
I'm
That is
drinking
not a
whiskey
book.
if anyone cares.
I was
Oh,
gonna say,
sorry, what are you
excuse you,
drinking?
we haven't all gone.
Sorry.
I fucking unmuted
Good.
myself for this.
Good
Burb,
God.
what kind of whiskey are you drinking? I care.
I am drinking shit, what am I drinking? The Burnside just regular bourbon. I forget what flavor it is, but it's the one with the light blue
Label?
thank you. The light blue label. It's good. We've had it on the podcast before.
It's the Oregon Oaked Bourbon.
Thank you. It's the Oregon Oaked bourbon.
Oh, they have a few with light blue, though. Hold on. Nope,
No,
that's
no,
the
it's
one.
the Oregon Oaked is right.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah.
usually get this and the West End blend, which is their whiskey blend, and that has an orange label.
I love that one.
It's really
Is Burnside
good.
local?
Mhm.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Tis. I don't know where they're getting their whiskey from these days because they haven't been around that long. But
So our charity for this episode, it being Pride Month, is the National Queer Asian Pacific Islander Alliance. So support your local Gaysians.
yay.
And go check them out.
NQAPIA.org.
It's you know it's a mouthful, but they do great work.
I love that.
So you know, letters. We don't have those in our languages, so you know whatever.
It's a mouthful.
Yay.
That it is. All right. So shall we clone?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's.
All right,
wait,
Keeks.
sorry, I just went to the website and I think it's. I think this photo of the queer Asian people, it might be in Portland.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sorry, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm like, wait.
That sounds
that-
right.
Keeks
That-
is
is
like,
that
I know
the
those
city I live
queer
in?
Asians.
I know they're
just
headquartered on the
it's
West
the
Coast.
buildings.
Okay.
And I'm like, that doesn't look like San Francisco. I think that might be Portland. Either one. Sorry,
That's
was
funny.
a non sequitur. Yeah, let's clone.
Keeks, when and where are we?
We're in the aftermath of the Clone Wars.
Good job. Gold
They
star.
do Order 66 in the first episode.
They do Order 60. Love that.
Yeah, that
They
was
do.
That was brutal. Aren't you just so glad that we have like 7 different media in which we have to watch Order 66 now?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
So-
y'all have
it's-
seen. Sorry, Keeks, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna bring up, remember when we were getting like those Funko boxes and
Yes.
one of the luggage tags was a clone receiving Order 66. I
it
can't
was so
believe they
fucked
made
up.
that into a luggage tag.
It was literally Commander Cody because pain is
Yeah.
what being a Star Wars fan is on like every single fucking level.
Like we were like, oh cool. I remember talking to you guys about it because I was like, oh cool, there's a clones like, and then I was like, does he have a little Palpatine in his hand? What the fuck?
So now we've had to watch Order 66 in the movies. Book of Boba Fett / Mando. Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Clone
Wars. Bad Batch. That's 5.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Yup.
Jesus.
6.
Was that the video game?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any comics, Christopher?
Oh yeah, tons of comics.
Well, y'all. I know y'all have seen that supercut that person put together. That's just like all of Order 66, and it's just like, you know, it's, oh my god, it's on YouTube, and like, I don't know, it goes these days. That thing is out of date like every 6 months because they just keep giving us more orders. Yeah, he just like kind of like mashed, like did a horrible video collage of like every Order 66 in going in chronological order. It's like, yeah.
This is not going to be spoiler free. I don't know how much we're going to talk about Kenobi, but I usually like to warn folks, usually because we're just like 78 months behind. So we might talk
Spoiler
about Kenobi a little bit.
Yeah. The Kenobi one is literally the first scene of the series, and I doubt we'll go more into it. But yes, that's a good warning.
Yes.
Because we don't control ourselves.
Spoiler pod. Anything is up for just divulging and ruining your experience.
Anything is up for spoils.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The next point on the outline is things happened. So
this is true. It famously.
Who did this outline?
Me.
Who do you think did this outline?
Who would have done
I
it?
ask stupid questions. Never mind. I've been on the pod too long.
Things happened.
A lot of things happen. So we usually start these off like, what did we like? What didn't we like about the things that happened?
They kept the guy who goes, clones are happening on this planet.
Tom
something,
Kane.
something. Yeah.
The
guy
intro
in
guy.
the beginning who yells
Who's
about what's
real?
happening.
Fuck yeah.
That might be his last work actually, because he had to retire.
Wait, he what?
He had a stroke.
Oh,
my
no.
Yeah. So he then had speech problems, so he had to retire.
Oh no.
Sorry, I just brought us down.
They're gonna
But
get me.
shout out to Tom Kane and his family.
Yes.
Now they're gonna have me do the next season.
Really, it was
So
uncanny.
good at it.
Oh, that's upsetting.
On that note though, I did really like how they kind of, you know, since everybody knew Bad Batch was going to be Clone Wars Part 2, how they just really leaned into that, and it was like, you think it's this, and then everything changes.
They didn't give us our ancient Jedi proverbs at the beginning, though, in the yellow text.
They did not give us the
Our
fortune
Star Wars,
cookie. This is true.
our Star Wars fortune cookies.
I do like that they stopped doing that though, just to differentiate it just like a little bit stylistically from Clone Wars, and also like, listen,
It was so dumb.
Clone Wars. Well, I was gonna say Clone Wars had its like certainly had its moments, but like it's just so different tonally from Bad Batch. Bad Batch is like, I don't know. I would argue that it's really not a kid's cartoon. It's so fucking dark, and we'll get into that. But like, lots of just really terrible stuff happens. One thing that I enjoyed is that Dave Filoni, bless his hat, is just almost incapable of making a season 1 of a show that is good. So like first season of Clone Wars is not good. It's just
very, very,
really
very not
bad.
good.
it is very disjointed and strange, quite frankly.
Remember
I
when
would say
they
season 1.
just released them out of order?
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
Sorry, I just like sometimes I just sit back and remember things that are true about that show and go, how?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry I cut you off. Kayla.
No.
Just in case you didn't watch Clone Wars in the beginning, they literally released them in a random timeline order.
It makes no goddamn sense.
No, it's terrible. And then they pick up on storylines in season 2, like in the middle of season 2, and it's just anyway.
Yeah.
I would argue that Rebels had a pretty solid season 1, all things considered. It got better, obviously, but it was solid. But like first season of Mando, very uneven. Book of Boba Fett, hopefully it'll get another season, because speaking of uneven, very uneven. But no, this was pretty solid the whole way through, and there weren't a whole lot of like quote unquote filler episodes, I want to say. Like we got our creature episode in with the Rancor, because it's Dave, but
Mushi.
who Luke murdered in
Yeah.
cold fucking blood.
Luke Skywalker's a murderer.
Oh my god.
Mushi was an angel.
I know, sweet baby. But yeah, pretty solid all around. I don't think there's not an episode that necessarily stands out for me where I was just like, that was bad and a waste of my time, you know? Which
yeah,
is
it was
like
very action packed. I feel like
Mhm.
almost every episode, like at least a little bit, actually moved the storyline forward. What a fucking concept!
Mhm.
I think the only one where I like finished it and was like, all right, I gained nothing from that was the like minecart Indiana Jones minecart chase episode.
Oh, the one with
The
the
like the
spice.
Minox.
The one with the
Yeah.
spice.
Yeah.
But didn't that? Well, yeah. It's funny. 'Cause
But and
that
it wasn't bad. Like it did move Omega's character forward. So like it wasn't bad. It was just like
yeah.
you know, quote unquote filler.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing something with that in season 2, if only because like the Pikes be out there doing shit.
True.
Like I think that was the most surprising thing about that episode was that there was like not more Pikes drama, because usually it's just like one thing happens and then everybody gets murdered by the Pikes, and it's like, oh, nobody got murdered. That's wild.
It is incongruous. Also, like, I don't know, we got some really good Wrecker moments out of that episode. I don't know, I love Wrecker. So
I did not expect to like Wrecker
precious baby,
based on
precious big baby.
yeah. Well, because based on the Clone Wars arc, he's the most basic of all of them. And he's not built out, and it didn't feel like they left him a ton of room to build him out. But then they put him with Baby Omega, and he went from like kind of the big oaf archetype to the big brother archetype, which is a huge shift for him, and like particularly with the emotion of his arc with his chip malfunctioning because repeated head trauma. It was huge. It made his character so much more interesting to me.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did such a good job with that, because for real, like he was the flattest of all of them and had the least places to go, and he's like now arguably the most interesting one.
I totally agree with that. Another thing I appreciated in terms of like the pacing, which I thought overall for the season was like really good, was like, Chris, I remember at the time that like when we were watching it, one of the first episodes of the season, you were just like, I'm really glad we got over the whole necessary plot point of do they really want to keep this kid around or not? And we got through that in like the second or third episode of the season, which was great that we didn't have to like. That wasn't a question for the rest of the season. Like she's like that she belongs with them, which I thought was really nice, and it makes sense because she is one of them. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for me the standout star of the season was Omega. There's no question. She was hilarious. She was incredibly complex. They actually balanced the kind of like preternatural, like prodigy vibe with actually making her inexperienced, like the dirt scene in episode 2 where she is outside for the first time in her life is like kind of incredible. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she grows up. I know that in the trailer for season 2 she looks older, so it does seem like we're gonna get some of that. But she was the standout for me, no question.
Yeah,
Keeks, you look like
I wrote I would die for Omega on this outline. So, yeah, like there's just like she's so complex, and they like juxtapose so many things to like make her complex, but like still in a very kid show sort of way. Like, you're gonna learn to shoot this bow and arrow, but then also I'm going to gamble and win a bunch of money, which is so funny.
That was so funny. Sid is actually a great character. Yeah. I love the sense that like she's like a little bit of this maternal figure, but like also not at all. Don't make children do gambling.
I fucking love Sid.
I definitely get the sense she's like growing to care about this like ragtag band of idiots, but also like, oh my god, she is so bad at just like, I don't know, putting people in situations.
Yeah.
There are very, very real issues with this show in terms of how characters are depicted, and with stereotypes and everything, and we're going to get into those in a minute. But I did see one person online saying that Sid's character is anti-Semitic, and my eyes rolled all the way out of my head.
More anti-Semitic than Watto?
Yeah, right. Progress. No, it was something about how like she has like a New York Jew accent and is a lizard person, which like that it says a lot that that's where your mind went. To be
Okay.
perfectly honest,
I
that to me is far enough on the scale of crazy people are like gonna find anything to be racist about, where it like is not.
There's actual
I don't know. It
racism
didn't
that we
bother
can
me.
talk about.
Mhm.
Like, you
Exactly.
don't need to stretch your imagination to find the racism.
Yeah, it was so weird. The one thing before we get into the racism, the other thing that I loved was like maybe my favorite, well, one of my favorite moments of the season was bringing Who's on First into Star Wars.
Oh my god, yes. Which, like, this is the only group they could have done it with.
Oh, absolutely. Like
they're
also
so
the Trace
funny.
and Rafa episode in general was great,
Oh hell yeah.
but just is there an echo in here? Yes. God, just absolutely fantastic.
Help.
It's so
Um,
good.
Star Wars.
Before we get sad and talk about racism, Kate, did you want to scream about the Syndulas? I wrote that, but I just wanted to give you the opportunity.
Listen, we got baby Kanan as Caleb Doom fucking ripping my heart out. I did not expect that at all. It was like, you know, within the first like 5 seconds of the first episode, and I was just, and of course, I was just like shrieking at some ungodly hour of the night. Our downstairs neighbor already hates us. We keep giving him more reasons to hate us. That was one of them. And also just like we spent a lot of time with the Syndulas. I did not expect to see. Again, did not expect to see them at all. Maybe Cham for a minute. Filoni does love his crossover material, but love seeing Baby Hera. Love that they gave her the Ryloth accent because that is, as we know from Rebels, like true to her character. Love seeing her mom be an absolute fucking badass. I was just sitting there like, if I have to watch Hera's mom die with my own 2 eyes on live fucking TV, I'm gonna lose my shit. And for once in his life, Filoni held himself back from murdering a mother in Star Wars. Incredible.
One in a row.
Like, so that was lovely. I loved seeing like Chopper interacting with Baby Hera. Like, it was just like I loved seeing like Hera just like talking to Omega about flying and them just being bros. Like, extremely lovely. Like, was it Rebels fan service? Absolutely. But these days, what does Filoni work on that isn't Rebels fan service? And I'm not mad about it. So here we are.
I mean, when people complain about fan service in Star Wars, like, there's definitely a line that gets crossed too much. But it's more the way that it's done than the amount of it. Because, like, all of Star Wars is fan service. Like, literally, there's been fan service since, like, the first fucking Star Wars movie. And it has Luke fucking swinging on a lasso. Like, come on. Like, these are not stirring narrative moments here. Like...
Darth Twink did not stir you narratively.
And so, you know, like... Now there's
He just completely ignores my comment. Go on.
I'm moving past that one.
Jesus.
Like, you know, a lot of stuff, particularly in Mando, in my opinion, a little
Holy
bit in Book of Boba Fett as
fucking
well,
shit with Mando.
is just like fan service done with too heavy a hand, I think. But I mean, if you look at Kenobi, like there's so much fan service in Kenobi, and it doesn't feel overdone at all. It just feels like natural extensions of the character. Like, of course they would do things that are similar to things that we know they do in the past / future. That's just who they are. So like it's a question of how you do it. And you know, I thought that a lot of the fan service in Bad Batch was actually very intertwined with the plot in a good way.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with that. And one more thing, maybe one more thing. I don't know. We'll get to the racism. Don't worry about it. We always do.
Great.
Yell at racist pod. As
There's
usual.
a plethora of racism.
I would agree with Kate in that I was like surprised at a lot of the content that they put in here, and like it was I thought it was a really good mix, but a surprising mix of like new stuff and stuff that we knew was going on, right? Like we knew all that shit was going on Ryloth essentially. From like other media that we've talked about, right? Like we're talking about, we're laughing about the Order 66 thing, but there's like so much media from this part of like the Star Wars universe. So, which is like kind of why everyone groaned when they were like, oh, another fucking thing about this time. But I think they like that made me like it more. Like it kind of made the stakes higher. I was like, oh yeah, that is happening, and that is also happening, and this is how these guys like play into this other stuff we know to be happening. So that was like, I was surprised that I liked that, like, because it was so much rehashing of stuff that we already knew. But I did like that. I don't know.
I think what's appealing about it, just like narratively, is that, you know, we're used to seeing a lot of stories from outsider perspectives. Like, I mean, of course we get Luke, who just is a fucking dumbass and doesn't know anything. You know, we get or like, you know, we get Rogue One, we have Jin, who like was a child when all this important stuff was happening, and she doesn't want to get involved in whatever else. But I think this is one of those rare times in Star Wars where we have like insiders becoming outsiders, and therefore we have just like knowledge of them like operating, like of the Bad Batch operating within this war machine of the Republic, and then they are kind of like forcibly taken out of it, and then they have to observe from the outside, like what is this like thing that they were part of, what is it becoming, and did they help it get there, which I think is really intriguing.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's kind of an interesting contrast with Mandalorian. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keeks.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we've gotten similar things to this before, but only like really with the Empire, right? Like, we know people who have defected
Yes.
from the Empire.
Yes.
Whereas like this is really interesting because it's in this like really transitory, I don't know if that's the right time to use transitory, doesn't matter, but like it's really in this
Transitional,
in-betweeny
maybe?
transitional, sure. But yeah, I think like this is the first time for sure that we've seen it like in this specific like weird republic-y but empire-y like way. So I thought that was really cool too, Kate.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that is an excellent refinement of my comment.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of contrast to Mandalorian in a way, because in Mandalorian, Mando famously does not know he's in Star Wars and has no interest in being in Star Wars. Like, he has no interest in the galaxy at large. He is famously uninformed about pretty much everything. And that's like part of his charm. Like, that's like what's different about him in a way. Whereas Bad Batch, like, everybody in this show is very aware that they're in Star Wars, and they're like playing it up and like working within that framework. And so it's, you know, considering Filoni works on both shows, it was, although from what I hear, Filoni is not as involved day to day in Bad Batch as he has been in other shows. But you know, it is still unmistakably a show that bears his fingerprints, whether from him or his proteges. But so that's just like, it was just an interesting contrast for me seeing those two.
I know it's factual that Dave Filoni has to have proteges, but just thinking about this guy having proteges is wild to me, because I just keep thinking about that fucking behind the scenes thing for season 1 of Mando, where he's talking about how he got hired by Lucasfilm, and he's just like, he thought it was a prank call. There's just like, are these the guys from SpongeBob? And that's all I think of. Anyway, speaking of stupid unhinged shit, shall we talk about racism?
I had a few more things, which is Cad Bane
yes,
was
please.
here.
The year of Cad Bane.
I know,
Of
fuck
course.
yeah.
I can't take that away from you.
He's
I know.
blue.
Well, because like we never thought we would see him again, and now he's like everywhere, and I'm like, hell yeah, respect
Cad
him
Bane is
and
blue.
his hat.
Famously.
He is blue. Well, and like his stupid robot fucks everything up, like he always does, which is like, what a great callback, what a great reminder that that robot is so stupid. Droid is what we call them in Star Wars, Kristen. And now we know he's got beef with Fennec, and like there's just all this like interweaving that they do that I think is like really kind of masterful to like make everything it's always interesting when they can do something where it makes everything we've already seen like matter more, and I think this show does a lot of that, which is cool.
Which is why for me it was such a missed opportunity in Book of Boba Fett when he and Fennec never actually like came face to face. But whatever, creative decisions.
With Cad?
Yeah.
Oh, in Book of... Oh, sorry. Yes. You said words that made sense. My brain didn't process them right.
Okay.
I agree. I would have loved for them to come face to face.
Yeah, really weird.
I realize that, like, plot reasons, they don't want to have Boba not be the one to kill him. But, like...
Yeah, but like
It
don't
would
know.
have been fun
There's
if Fennec had like shot him while he was standing over Boba monologuing.
oh yeah, that would have been cool. Whatever.
I love it when Fennec kills people.
Same.
Fennec is the anti-monologuer for sure.
She's the best.
Shoot first, ask questions later, and I love her for it.
Okay, I think we can talk about racism now if you want. I just had to talk about Cat Bane
huzzah.
for a minute.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, so one of the big talking points, I think, when the show first came out is that obviously the clones, like the character models and like the original character models and everything, are based on Tamir Morrison, who is an indigenous man from Australia.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh my word. Australia.
Sorry, not to interrupt,
That
but
would be. Oh my god. Speaking of knowing how to talk, everything's going great. From New Zealand, and so yeah, like he has a darker skin tone, and when the character models for Bad Batch came out and the trailer dropped, a lot of people were noticing that the skin tones of the members of the Bad Batch were quite a bit lighter than one would expect for having based these folks on Tamir Morrison. And it's just like there was a lot of like, I don't know, hand-waving debate about just like, well, they're mutated clones, so like whatever. And I'm like, no. That's not.
that makes it big cheaty vibes. You get how that's worse, right?
Right. And like, kind of like, and like, the trailer dropped and we saw this, we're like, that sucks. I mean, it more than sucks. It's fucked up. And then like this episode started coming out and we're like, oh, we were hoping that you would be able to fix this in the in-between time. They did not do that. It remains to be seen what the character models are going to look like in season 2, because frankly, did they drop a trailer? Yes. Was most of the trailer very dark in terms of lighting? Also, yes. So,
My least favorite thing continues. Everything is too dark.
thanks, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I feel like Game of Thrones started that shit, and like everyone has been doing it, and I know I've bitched about it before, and all people our age bitch about it because we can't see, and I will continue to bitch about it because it's stupid. It's like, you're making a show, make it so that I can fucking see the show.
Yeah.
What is the point of making it too dark to see? I want to be able to watch it in the daytime if I feel like it.
Yeah, but no, just to kind of continue where you were going with it, Kate, like it does remain to be seen about season 2. I don't have super high hopes, which is extremely frustrating, especially since I want to say there was reporting that like the showrunners had seen the complaints about the skin tones in season 1 and were trying to do something about it. I don't remember who that reporting was from, so it could have just been someone clout chasing, but like it's certainly been around long enough for them to know those concerns, and it dates back to the Clone Wars as well. And it's not just the character models; it's the fact that they're all voiced by D. Bradley Baker, who is a white man. And that's I think I get that he is like Filoni's boy, and he's very good. Like I'm not trying to cast aspersions on his performance. Like he is frankly incredible, the job that he does in this show. But at the same time, like I remember I was really hoping when this show was announced that they would like take the opportunity to recast the clones and like get 5 new actors, or like maybe let him keep Echo since he originated that character, but like get several new actors who were indigenous or were Maori, and they didn't do that, which was really, really frustrating.
It's Maori.
I have heard it both.
Okay.
It was IO9 that was talking about it. Sorry, I just had to.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had to do a Google.
Well, that's a real place.
Yeah, I think that the hashtag is #unwhitewashed TBB.
Yeah.
As ever, we come up with a catchy hashtag, don't we? When Star Wars does a racism, we have so many anti-racism hashtags.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny how we keep needing those to make up new ones. It's fucking great, isn't it?
So many. It's almost like that. There's a lot of racism in Star Wars,
and it's almost like they won't fix it.
Yeah, Omega's also super fucking white.
Yeah, Omega's skin tone is really, 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 really light.
Womp womp.
And her hair is blonde as well, which is also like we're gonna get to talking about Omega and kind of her identity and where that goes in season 2. But that is also something that I think kind of needs explaining, frankly.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's my hot take.
Kate, did you want to say something about a bad? I remember you saw some shit on Twitter about bad representation back when the show was on, and
I sure
wasn't
did.
pleasing.
I sure did. So, one of the plot points of the show is that we're seeing the transition from the Empire having clones being soldiers to recruiting like just the citizenry or whatever the fuck to be part of their stormtrooper force. And so we see some of the like first stormtroopers basically that are recruited by the Empire. And I saw a lot of like the usual like I don't want to know about these people. I don't want to know what their faces look like. Like they're just Nazis and I don't want to empathize with them. And, we've talked a lot ad nauseum on this podcast about how I feel about that take. And then I saw a few people take it a little bit farther. One of the stormtroopers, her appearance is of an East Asian woman. And, I saw somebody who was just like, this is just bad representation for Asian people. Was this person Asian? No. This person was very white. And so, it's just like, what if we didn't rehash this bad representation debate that we had with Iden at the time that Battlefront came out? I'm so tired of having this conversation with white people deciding things for me. It made me extremely peeved. And now that person is muted for me.
I think I have Star Wars muted on Twitter.
That's not a bad call.
That's very smart.
And then I just go into the group chat and I go, is something happening? I see a lot of really vague tweets, but I have Star Wars muted, so I can't be sure what's going on.
There's a couple very specific terms that I just am really like this close to muting.
I don't have anything muted, but I also follow like nobody or nothing.
Yeah.
Very smart.
So I see like 3 takes. I'm like, somebody's mad about something.
I know. Me and Miranda both just like moonwalk into the chat going, does anyone know what everyone's mad about? And Chris goes, oh, would you like the tea?
They're like, not really. Well, Last Jedi is trending for the fucking like 5th time this year, and it's only been like 3 months. So
Who has the time? Good Lord.
It's been 0 days since our last incident.
Exactly. Dude, website was fucking like said that the other day because Last Jedi was in fact trending again like last week.
Fucking Christ.
Check out Ryan Johnson's Glass Onion on Netflix this holiday season, though.
Yes. Also website aka 1138.
Yeah.
A great human. Anyway.
Did we miss any racism we wanted to talk about before we talk about other stuff?
Any racism? Spot check for racism, please.
I know one other thing that the unwhitewashed TBB hashtag has been really on top of, and I will preface this with I don't really feel qualified to talk about this other than to raise it up that people have had concerns, is that I know that some folks who have autism have been frustrated with Tech and his lack of character development as well, and it feels like he has been, or they've kind of been relying on stereotypes of kind of the nerdy, antisocial, quote unquote, archetype for him, and I know that people have been frustrated by that as well.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I mean, just from a fucking character development, storytelling perspective, excluding all that, stereotyping going on there. Like we were talking about Wrecker and like how he easily could have been just like. So just continued on being like, yeah, exactly, super flat. And I'm just like, and I'm really hoping that season 2 is when we get to see Tech grow a little more, because I again, outside, not that you can really be outside of all that, but like but hypothetically outside of all that, like, yeah, I'm just like, he does the one thing.
Yeah, they like use him as a tool in the show, and it certainly feels like it, but the rest of them get like stories.
I don't like it.
I'm really hoping that Tech and Echo get better arcs as well. Echo in addition to Tech, because
listen, Echo, like, yes, Echo, but also, he's had, like, he should definitely get more time later, but like I was fine with where Echo was at for the first season, because he's just been through some shit, and so I'm just like, Echo just needs like a blanket and a sandwich and a nice corner to sit in, and he can be like fine.
That's
That's
what
true.
I hope his character development is. Just like more.
Yeah.
I hope his character. Well, and they did it. I would say like I don't mind what they did with Echo so much, just because like they did bring up a lot of like PTSD stuff about him. Not as much as like probably should have been, because he's so fucked up from it. But like that, I think, you know, just like some of the look backs for him, at least fleshed him out more than Tech.
That's true. No,
But
absolutely.
it's
And I
not
do
fucking
like that
saying
he
much.
is. Yeah. And I do really like that he is kind of the one who is the conscience of the group when it comes to fighting the Empire, because like he's like, you know, more than anyone else, he fucking fought for this.
Yep.
And he's pissed about it. And I really liked he had a lot of, in the couple episodes about the chips in their heads, he had a lot of really good moments. And I hope that they build on that as well. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Tech, there's no question he had the least character development in the entire season. So I really hope that they build on that in season 2.
Yeah, they kind of made him look like an asshole too, which I did not like.
And again, the
Yep.
the autistic stereotype.
Yep. Inhibitor chips, not potato chips.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
So like, what are, you know, this was obviously fun, and I think it's safe to say that the three of us all enjoyed it, all things considered. We all have fairly positive things to say about it. But also, we are a show that talks about the cross-platform storytelling of Star Wars. And what did we learn about the universe and this time period that we didn't know before?
Not that much.
I
I mean, I made it a point of being like, these are mostly things we knew already, right? So from a podcast perspective, bad show, not more. Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to say. So I remember like during the week in between, like before the season finale aired, Kevin Kiner, who's the composer for the show, and he's composed I think for every single animated show thus far. He was just like, yeah, so I cried so much composing the music for the finale, and I've never done that before. So buckle up. And I was just like, oh God, who's gonna die? Like, what the fuck? And, you know, and then they completely destroyed Topoka City, and I was not prepared for it. I just, like, the way that they, yeah, I know, the way that they kind of, like, flash through all of the settings, these rooms, like the cafeteria and the incubation banks and, like, things like that, like, things that we, you know, for people who watch the Clone Wars are extremely familiar with. And, you know, we know that, like, clones have literally died protecting this facility, like that episode with 99, which, like, rest in peace, bro. Like, you know, like we are as emotionally attached to these things as the characters are, and to see it just fall into the ocean like it never was one of the most gut-wrenching things probably in Star Wars for me. Like, Keith, I can't even imagine. Ugh.
I was like weeping, of course.
Yeah, it was brutal. And that
Yeah.
that kind of goes back to go away from the point that I just introduced. That goes back to what you were saying, Kate, about it's a very dark show.
To control Z, what I just did.
Exactly.
Sorry.
It's a very dark show, though. Like, it has its funny moments. Like, Wrecker is the comic relief, and we love him for it. And as I said, Who's on First was just a top, just an absolute S tier moment in Star Wars history.
Fuck's sake.
But like,
no, you can have someone be comic relief and be complex.
yeah,
the way.
exactly. But and it
What?
was a very complex and difficult show to watch at times. Like, we thought, as Kate, you were saying, we thought we were going to see, there was a very real chance that we were going to see Hera's mom die in front of us. Like, we had to see Topoka City get destroyed. We had to see Order 66. We had to see them struggling with, these are literally our brothers. What the fuck do we do with this?
Yep.
Especially Crosshair.
Yeah, like that was like that's the most like fucked up clone on clone shit I've seen since like Shadow on Umbara,
Yeah.
which is a whole plot situation in the Clone Wars where they're just kind of like, there's this moment where they're like friendly firing at each other, and it's just like fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, and besides the obvious thing of just like, there are a bunch of bad guys trying to catch a 10-year-old child and murder her because,
Bad
reasons.
vibes.
yeah, like, fucking terrible.
Star Wars has just turned into one big series of escort quests, and I don't hate it.
Oh, yeah. It's real dark. It's really
but
dark.
I love how it builds it out though. Like
Mhm.
it didn't add a lot, like you said, Keeks, like in terms of stuff we didn't know, but it did add a lot of depth, I think, to stuff that we,
Assumed or
we assumed or
sort of
knew
knew.
as
Yeah.
a sentence on Wikipedia. Like
right.
we knew that, the clones turned evil with Order 66. We didn't know how that impacted all of them and how it completely erased most of their personalities. We saw in the trailer that Cody is going to be in season 2, and that I almost don't want to see that because like it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle his personality essentially being gone, because obviously we know that his chip wasn't removed like Rex's was.
Yeah, I just see the degrees of difference too between like how the inhibitor chips. Oh my god, I can't talk. Inhibitor chips, like the degrees to which they work. Like either they work completely, they get taken out, they start derping. Like something's going on. I feel like with like Hauser's chip, but like
Yeah, absolutely.
that wasn't like confirmed or anything like that. But like there's that. Crosshair claims that he got his chip taken out and he's still like this, and we don't actually. Did we ever find out whether he actually got it taken out or not?
I don't think we heard anything one way or the other, but I took him at his word.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't think that. I think him saying that is like meant to be like, and I'm still fucked up. Ha ha ha.
See, I always question these things, and I blame Dave Filoni because
You should. You
He's
should question these
tricksy
things.
bastard, and I don't know if I don't.
I blame J.J. Abrams personally, but
Yeah.
Fair enough.
yeah, no, I mean that's a good question, and the Crosshair stuff is really difficult, and I'm really interested to see where that's going to go in season 2 as well. But yeah, it's seeing this kind of how quickly everything descended into fascism, particularly at this moment in history.
Hit close to home, as you say.
Yeah.
Mm.
It really did, but also it's important, frankly. Like it's important storytelling to do that and to be honest about like these things don't happen due to one person doing one event. Like they didn't happen because Palpatine said execute Order 66 and the whole world changed. They happened because there were people who were willing to join in, who were willing to benefit from the new regime. And, like Admiral Rampart, the kind of new Imperial antagonist, were, kind of just waiting in the wings to, kind of be able to play out the power fantasy that he clearly had.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think politics has no place in Star Wars, and
Like all the while too is like Operation Cinder is happening in
Yeah.
which is just like, oh, that's how it happened so fast. Oh, they just fucking murdered everybody. Cool. Cool.
no, it's absolutely horrifying.
We're actually going to talk a lot more about this when we finish Alphabet Squadron. Fun fact.
Oh no.
Alphabet Squadron has never hurt me emotionally.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Oh yeah. Speaking of crossovers, just got to give a shout out to our guy Saw Gerrera.
Oh yeah.
Just he popped up everywhere. He popped up here. I was happy to see him.
Always.
Just doing his shit.
I'll be interested to see if he pops up in Andor.
Oh, if he doesn't pop up in Andor, I'm gonna fucking like find somebody and like be straight backhand them. So
Honestly, it's going to be really interesting to see if any of the Bad Batch show up in Andor.
that'd be fun.
Especially now that we've seen, again, minor spoiler for Kenobi. So fast forward a minute or two if you haven't seen episode 2. But we saw Tem playing a post-war clone, a homeless veteran clone. Like
A 501st clone too.
501st, yeah,
I
specifically.
know.
And like we have, the pieces are in place to bring the clones back into live action in a big way.
Do it.
I firmly suspect we'll see Rex and Ahsoka.
Listen, I'm just happy for Tamora Morrison. Give that man buckets and buckets of money, because he's a delight
Yeah.
He is
and a great human being.
A goddamn delight.
Does anybody have more questions about this point? I do have one more thing that I want to touch on before we wrap up.
I don't think so. We didn't ask for listener questions, did we?
Sure didn't, but
We didn't,
were
but that's how
also
we're going to keep it to one episode.
Hey, fuck you guys.
we also were supposed to record this 17 times, so whatever, it's fine.
Listen, life is
If
hard.
you want to
we're all
ask
very
us
depressed.
listener questions about this, go ahead. Maybe we'll answer them at some time. Joke's on you
Yeah.
for listening to us.
Donate to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon and ask us in Slack.
Good plug,
Maybe.
Chris.
You're so, that's what I'm here for. Speaking of, the thought process here was Tamira Morrison, Boba Fett, direct clones of Jango Fett. We talked about how much we love Omega.
Mm-hmm.
It is said in one of the episodes, I think the one where she's kidnapped by Cad Bane, that the reason she's so important is because she is a direct genetic clone of Jango Fett. There were two. They were Alpha and Omega. Alpha is also known as Boba Fett. That feels like confirmation. It's not enough confirmation. They need to come out and say it for them to get credit for it. Yes, Burb.
Why wasn't it Alpha and Beta Fett? Sorry.
You ask a compelling fucking question.
Boba Fett should be Beta because they start with the same letter.
Well, no, it's because Omega was the last clone they made.
She's still mad.
That too. Also, no. Just listen. Every time I think about that shit, I think about fucking like this fucking ABO fanfic, and I just don't want to. So we're gonna skate on past the naming convention. Thanks.
I don't know what that is, and I don't want
If
it
you know what it is,
Doesn't matter.
Diana, I know you're listening, and I know you're screaming. Anyway,
But to get back to Omega, if she is in fact a direct genetic clone of Boba Fett, and we see her as she lives her life as, a girl, a woman, whatever, you want to say about her, a teenager, a young woman,
a femme presenting person.
a femme presenting person. Thank you. That's the terminology I was looking for.
Good God.
She is trans.
And I'm pretty sure somebody right? And I feel like somebody asked, and somebody I forget who it was on the production side who tweeted, but they were like, we said, but they were like, does this mean Omega's trans? And the person was just like, we said what we said.
Yeah, I think
is ultimately what the response amounted to. So
I believe that was Jen Corbett, who is the showrunner.
Listen, it better be true.
No, it's great, but they do need
they need to do it. They
they
need
need
to
to confirm it. It's not that hard.
say it with your whole chest, or I'll come find you.
But
And
Chris,
you-
Dumbledore's gay.
Oh my God. No, I will find you. You can eat my ass on live TV.
But yeah, it's not that hard. Bring Boba back in, have him be confused as to how Omega is his direct genetic counterpart, and just have her be like, this is who I am. It's very easy, but it for them to get credit for it, which would be very deserving if they do it, but for them to get that credit, they need to make it explicit.
If they do it.
Do.
I trust Star Wars about as far as I can throw it.
Yeah, it's not good.
And I can't throw
really
very
bad.
far, y'all.
It's really bad. I know. I'm sure they're gonna fuck it up somehow. It's gonna be just terrible.
And then the other part of this is not just confirm it, but put people who are queer, who are women of color, who are not white, put characters who are not white men in places besides the animation.
Yay.
And the books.
Are they allowed to do that?
Yay.
Signs point to no.
If I don't get Finn being a Jedi in my near future, I cannot explain to you how much dismemberment I will do of human beings.
Yeah, you should start sharpening that knife then, because that's not happening.
Not good.
I don't think we're gonna get anything sequel trilogy related for the next 5 years.
I
Same.
know, Chris.
Who will be
Maybe
the
I
star
should
of
say murder.
season 2?
Chris is excited because his most favorite extremely minor character is back.
The star of season 2 is going to be Gunji, because Gunji is a perfect angel who's never done anything wrong in his life, is the pride of his people, and frankly it's good that we got the confirmation that he is in fact immortal, and will live forever in the Star Wars universe.
He's so big
Yay.
now. Somebody like did a side by side comparison of a screenshot from him from like Clone Wars and then him in the trailer for season 2 of Bad Batch, and it's just like his fangs are bigger, he's fluffier and taller, he's ready to murder as opposed to just like being the sweetest little meow meow you've ever seen.
He is a Wookiee teen, and we love it.
I
I
know.
love
That's silly.
Genji so much.
He's
I
got big
know.
fucking hands, like a puppy.
Like a puppy.
Like a teenage
sure,
puppy.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's got weird. Anyway, what else are we excited for in season 2? We've talked about how we want to see more of like Tech's character growth. Just like, yeah, I don't know. Expecting to see more confrontation with Crosshair for sure.
Yeah.
Make it gayer.
Always be making it gayer. I'm curious to see how, you know, a gang of five idiot men are gonna deal with a teenage girl, because that sounds so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like already it's good.
Oh yeah. I want more
Already it's good,
Gonki.
and she's like, I assume like 12 or something. Like
right,
she's
exactly.
like right on the precipice of
Somewhere between 10 to 12 is how I read her, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want more Gonki. I want more Lula. Just like small things.
Yeah. I'm really interested. You touched on Crosshair, but I'm really interested to see what they do with him now that presumably he can't go back to the Empire, because they were, you know, the Rampart was told that he went rogue, and that's why he fired on Topoka City even though Crosshair was still there. So that's definitely
Yes.
going to be very interesting.
I am
Yeah.
excited and scared to see Cody. I expect to see more Rex as well, for sure.
Yay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Also, just the Thrawn trilogy playing out in front of our eyes.
Hee hee.
For those who aren't aware, so first of all, for those who have read the original Thrawn trilogy back from the 90s,
Thrawn is also blue.
Famously, you're batting 1,000 today, Burb. I'm proud of you. And there is a location where spoiler alert for a 30-year-old book, there is a location where the Empire did a lot of cloning, including cloning a Force user, that was called Mount Tantus on a planet called Wayland.
A 30-year-old
The mountain-
book
the-
that's no longer canon. Anyway, keep
Yeah.
going.
No, well, okay, but here's why it matters. Because in that like post, plot scene, the little epilogue scene where we see the Kaminoan, whose name I can't remember because she's not Tuan Wee, brought to the like new Imperial facility, we see her brought to a mountain, and it was confirmed after that episode that that is Mount Tantus and that planet is Wayland.
Which would probably directly tie into Mando, because we know they're trying to yoink Grogu's bits and bobs
Oh,
to
absolutely.
create
And
Force users.
since we know that Thrawn is coming into live action via the Ahsoka show, like it does feel like they are trying to not directly necessarily, but bring back aspects of that trilogy that is, admittedly I don't like it, but it's very beloved by people who grew up with it and had nostalgia with it. And
And certainly, even if you don't love it, there are very intriguing elements.
there are, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of that in season 2, because I don't think that they would have dropped that in the way that they did if they weren't going to follow up with it in this series.
Oh, Chris, Dave Filoni's name is on this. He does nothing by accident. His hat is full of secrets.
Sorry.
Chekhov's hat.
I just looked up. I just looked up some Kamino and shit. The Tonwi and Lamasu Legos are so cursed.
They're frightening. Okay, I've been
fucking
playing
cursed.
I've been playing the Lego Skywalker Saga game, which, by the way, fantastic.
Of
Highly
course it is.
recommend.
All the fucking Lego games are fire.
They're fantastic. It's super funny, very easy to pick up. Anyway, fucking cursed. Absolutely.
Like so cursed.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, sorry.
Thank God. So cursed. A Star Wars story.
It's the Kaminoans and it's Lego Salacious B. Crumb that just like
Oh, God.
make me want to die.
Oh, my God. That is an abomination unto God.
Yeah. Regular Salacious B. Crumb,
Uh-huh.
frankly.
Mm-hmm.
It's an abomination.
I don't like it.
Great.
Anyway, So we're
Fucking
gonna end.
great.
Gunji is the best, and we're excited to see him star in season 2 of The Bad Batch.
Wait, I had a point. Where did it go? Fuck.
I believe in you.
Fuck.
I believe in you.
I really did. I really did, and it's gone. Oh, it
Gunji,
was, oh no,
Kaminoans.
it was just a trolling point that
Oh, okay.
that Hondo better show up in season 2. Young Hondo.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I fully expect him to show up. at
He's
some point.
around. That motherfucker. I mean, he's got how long until Rebels to fucking be fucking about?
Wait, I have a point.
Oh my god, he's alive for at least the next like 13, 14 years. What's he up to, y'all? Please tell.
I mean, we know he survived into the First Order era because he's at Galaxy's
Oh
Edge.
yeah.
Hondo is not blue.
That is
Famously.
true. We do not know
fucking
how
God.
long his species lives.
But I mean,
We do not.
I mean, speaking of Gunji being immortal, Hondo's actually fucking immortal.
Correct. Oh, there
Incredible.
was a film named Hondo. Oh no, I'm looking for.
I mean,
Star
we
Wars.
got a very obtuse Hondo shout out
Is it
in
blue?
God in Kenobi because they mentioned Florum and I was like, I know where that is.
Yes.
I just really want. I know they're not going to, but again, Kenobi spoilers. So fast forward / we're about to be done anyway. So just
So
stop
just turn it
listening.
off. Why did you listen to this anyway?
I really just wanted them to show up on Florum and the pirates meet them. And Third Sister says, "Where's Kenobi?" And he's just like, "Kenobi, I know him."
Oh my! All right,
That's
close
my
it out. We're
dream-
done. We're done.
that's
We're
my
done. We're done.
dream, though.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, oh my god, they said pirates. I love pirates. Everybody
Hondo
loves
should have been the
Hondo.
big bad in Kenobi. Changed my mind.
Oh my fucking god.
Hondo should actually be part of the path. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Book Wars Pod. We're glad to be back. We're hopefully going to be recording more often again in the future now that things are calming down. Although, who knows? Because we said that to ourselves a month ago.
But also, I'm back, and I will yell at you all.
It's still gray in Portland.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's true. It's not summer in Portland. The Seadors are going to love it there. Anyway, continue to be safe. The pandemic is not over. Wear masks, get your vaccines, etc. Our next books, which I swear we're going to read, are the next 2 books in the High Republic kind of first wave of books, A Test of Courage and Into the Dark. A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland and Into the Dark by Claudia Gray. In the meantime, if you have the means, please give to the National Queer Asian Pacific Islander Alliance at nqapia.org. And if you want to support us, don't forget that you can always donate to the Tosh Station Radio Patreon, which helps us cover our hosting and production costs and will allow you to ask a question in the Patreon Slack.
Also, we have a pets channel. It's very cute.
We also have a pets channel. It's great. You get to hear me talking all about how fucking unhinged I sound when I talk to Orca when I'm on a work call and I'm not muted. Anyway, also please give us coffee at ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. All of us here, Argos, Cerberus, Jasper, Orca, Tony, and the humans who you don't really care about, are always so thankful for your support. Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. And our audio and production this episode will be split by both Kristen McDonald and Baby Burb herself, Miranda Eldon.
I just did some typing. I wouldn't call it audio and production.
I don't know what else you think is necessarily involved in that role.
That's fair.
No, I'm kidding. Kristen does so much. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. From all of us here at the pod, we will talk to you when we talk to you.
I love just not putting a timeline on it.
We'll talk to
Listen,
you.
Wait, what?
they've been burned before.
What happened?
Nothing. He says we'll talk to you when we talk to you instead of we'll talk to you next week.
Oh.
He said what he said.